Hello, hello, dear listeners. Welcome back to another episode of Therapy Revealed, the podcast series that's here to shine a light on those stories that are often left untold by those who are within our Asian American community. And in today's episode, we are going to be covering the fourth and final part of our Facing Adversity series featuring Emily Wu Truong, who is a national award winning speaker, storyteller, and visual and performance artist. And I hope you guys enjoy tuning in to this episode.
Yeah, laughing at my problems is definitely one way that I try to cope.
I do that too all the time. I laugh at myself. I'm like my only form of entertainment. One of my main forms of entertainment.
That's very good. Yeah. And speaking of which, when I was telling you about my piano experience on stage, and I was like basically trying to prove to the audience, like, my brain works. I still know how to play the songs I learned in high school, I'm 42 years old now.
I'm good. I'm
Right?
normal.
But here's the thing. So the MC, he tells the audience, he's like, okay, so now, academic pressure is very prevalent in the Asian community. But one thing that Emily likes to emphasize on is letting go of perfectionism. So let's applaud Emily as she comes up to the stage, and let's take the pressure off of her. So
Did that
then
work?
I did, huh? What?
Did that work?
Okay, well, yeah, I think so. Like, I mean, because I did practice a lot, but before my stage performance, but I actually made some mistakes, like actual mistakes when I was playing.
Yeah.
But I was okay with that because I wanted to kind of emphasize that letting go of perfectionism part.
That's
And
good. Yeah.
yeah, so even when I first started playing, I put my foot on the wrong pedal, and then I looked at the well, as I was about to start playing, and I'm like, oh, oops, and then like I looked at the audience like perfectionism, so, and then even at the end, I forgot that I put my phone on like a timer, because technically they gave me 5 minutes to be up there. But I forgot to turn the ringer off, so it rang at 5 minutes and toward the end of my piece, and then I turned it off, and I looked at the audience, and I said, I meant to do that.
That's
and then the
good.
audience laughed at me with me, so I it's like when you make light of things, then your audience will make light of it too.
Yes.
And they'll be understanding.
Absolutely.
They just won't care because you didn't care. Right? Because what you think of what you do actually matters the most.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right? And if other people can be happy with you, great. But if people have issues with your situation, then that's more about them than you.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I've been growing up with perfectionism all my life. I mean, it even is just displayed in my artwork. Right?
Yeah.
But this is actually the first piece that I would say, one of the first pieces that I've done in a long time, where this is actually about creativity, right? It's inspired by other art, but this is all mine.
Yeah. You took it and made it your own.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I even had some barf stains over here.
Oh.
my cats barfed on my drawing before I colored it in. Like,
Oh.
that the back of it is actually quite like wrinkly because of the barf stains, and
Yeah.
and it's just, but I tried to incorporate it into the picture, and but I was like, I didn't like it. So I tried to make it symmetrical, but then I was like, yeah, nah, I don't like it. So I just colored over it
Yeah.
in the outer circle. So,
Huh. I thought that was supposed to be part of your drawing. Like you meant for that to happen.
oh, right. Yeah, I know.
Oh,
So,
so
but
good. Yeah.
if I didn't point it out, people wouldn't like notice, right? Yeah, there's only it's like it's kind of like the artist always knows,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
the details, like from up close, like you're like, oh, that's terrible. But then when you go back, you're like,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it doesn't look that bad.
Yeah, it's like okay, masterpiece,
Yeah, it looks so good.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just, the perfection. Like, I even want to create a support group for us recovering perfectionists, like we're still every day trying to unlearn perfectionism. Like, okay, you don't have to get it perfect, just freaking do it.
Yeah, just do it.
Right? Because
And
it's like meeting deadlines or going, your last minute packing for a trip on the morning of your trip, like that's my weakness. So,
hmm
but yeah, I know we have so much to talk about, and it's just like, how can you even sum up 10 years?
I know, like that's insane. How much life experiences that you have to share. Wow, I don't think we can cover everything in one sitting. No.
No, of course not.
No.
Definitely not. I mean, that's why I want to create a mentorship program.
Oh,
Yeah,
is it like still in the works?
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do plan on creating my own nonprofit because there's so many gaps that are um, you know, people are just falling through these cracks.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can, that's why I want to try to close those gaps with supplemental programs to help people cope and, learn very important life skills,
Yes, absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
Because it's just, if our parents and our school systems can't teach us, then where are those mentorships, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it's important to create those mentorships and opportunities so that, our younger generation can grow and evolve and do better than, my generation. Because
Mm-hmm.
you are the next generation, and we need to be there for you to provide you with the guidance and mentorship that you need to have so that you can handle this crazy life,
Mm-hmm.
because life is not always smiles,
No, it isn't. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And we need more healers to help us along the way, to teach us what worked for you
Mm-hmm.
and what helped you to cope instead of bottling it all up inside,
Exactly. Yeah.
right? So, because Dr. Gabor Mate, he wrote the book called The Myth of Normal. He basically says that our whole entire society is actually toxic.
Mm-hmm.
We've been growing up with all this toxic energy because it was passed on to us from years of trauma.
Yeah. Generational trauma, they call it. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, from colonialism, oppression, trying to just survive,
Mm-hmm.
and the 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 wars or the political persecution. You could be killed for having a different opinion, and that's what, even within Asia. And
Mm-hmm.
when and I mean, the funny thing is that I wish that families and schools could actually teach children like the history of where they grew up. And
Like
so,
actually.
right? Because it's
Yeah.
like, it kind of makes you connect your current, um, like where you live to like what is the history of where we live and what can we be proud of for living in this city. And in the community that I grew up in here in California, I just felt like, man, I didn't like their value system. And that's why I kind of felt like a outcast. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't really fit in with this group because I talk about my topics of discussion are very deep and sometimes heavy with emotion that no one knows how to really talk with me. You know, like I feel
Yeah.
like an alien, you
Oh,
know?
yeah.
And it's just I think the internet is good these days because it helps you to find the other people who are like you.
More accessible reach. That's for sure.
Yeah, so it's like I just feel like, we're actually all neurodivergent and we just all have different value systems, and let's not impose on each other. What you believe in is what you believe in, but if you want to impose your belief onto me, no, I don't like that. That is crossing boundaries.
Of course. Yeah.
I even had to fire my last therapist, and she was Taiwanese American.
Oh my. Really?
Yeah, yeah. I had to basically straight up tell her, you are not providing me with a safe space because you are judgmental in your opinion on telling me to stop, you know, doing this activity. I mean, to be very honest, this is also another controversial topic, and it's the use of cannabis.
Mm,
And so it's been legalized. If
yeah.
it's been legalized, then what's wrong with it? I mean, look at alcohol. People are using that as a recreational poison, like all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's been normalized, and we have AA. And but it's just like I even told my therapist, I'm like, well, man, like being able to use cannabis has actually, the THC has been able to help me to sleep better,
Mm-hmm.
to find my creative energy.
Mm-hmm.
And despite me even sharing this with her, she couldn't even like be understanding about that. She just, all she could say was cut down and stop it. And she
Mm.
said this 4 times, 3 or 4 times. And I'm like, so I had to tell her, you and I are not a good fit.
Mm-hmm.
I do not appreciate clinicians telling me what I should and should not do. This is not patient focused.
Mm-hmm.
We need, if therapy is to be a safe space and for our communities, I do not want to work with you to have an older sister mentality, or you're my next mother, like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here for that. I'm here to work out my trauma with you.
Yeah.
And I don't need someone like you to berate me on how I should handle my life when you have never lived in my shoes before,
Mm-hmm.
you
It's
know?
good that you're bringing that to light because I feel like that's what a lot of, I guess, clients of therapists, they go through the same thing if they have therapists who aren't understanding like your previous one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's just like in my whole experience with working with therapists, like I actually feel like some of the non-Asians are actually more sympathetic and compassionate than the Asian ones that I've seen.
Yeah.
Unfortunate,
Yeah.
like Because I almost feel like it's in Asian blood to be very judgmental.
That's interesting. Now that you brought it up, yeah, I
Do you
guess
think that? Do you think that?
I can kind of see where you're coming from with that statement. I mean, I see it in my personal life as well too. And
Mhm.
it's a sad reality. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And that's, I think, that the learned toxic energy that has been passed down from generation to generation. And we hold very high expectations. Maybe Asian culture holds very high expectation of the world because we hold high expectations of ourselves.
absolutely. Yeah,
But that's where we also have to learn how to lower our standards, because the higher your standards are, the more suffering you're going to feel.
yeah. So you have to find a balance. Hmm.
And that's where I have to say zero expectations.
Zero
All right,
expectations.
because like if you bring your expectations down to zero, no one can disappoint you.
That's true. Yeah.
All right.
Low expectations. We won't get disappointed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because Stephen Hawking, he he actually, I shared his quote in my presentation with Nami National on August 26th, and I shared that his quote is, "After my expectations had been reduced to zero, every day became a bonus, and I began to appreciate everything I did have. Be brave, be curious, be determined, and overcome the odds."
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because then that way it's like, because you also have to like learn how to set healthy boundaries.
Yes.
Yeah. And right, because if these people that keep on not meeting your expectations keep on making all these surprises, and they keep catching you off guard like many times, you at some point you have to kind of say, stop it.
Yeah, no. No more.
you know I was like, I can only handle so much.
Yeah. And then after that, it just goes overboard. It's like, pew. It's like,
Right, because like every day we have our own life problems, and if other people are saying like, deal with my problem, deal with my problem, deal with my problem, deal with my problem, deal with my, and I'm just like,
it's too much. No.
I have to take care of me first.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
know? And I'm just trying to help myself at this moment, and I can try to extend my sympathy to you, but I'm sorry, I need to take care of me first. Me. I don't mean to be selfish. I have been a people pleaser for way too long, and I just need to live in my own truth.
Absolutely. Like that's valid. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's so, I feel like everyone is trying to mold us,
Mm-hmm.
you know, ever since we were growing up. People are trying to make you who they think you should be,
Mm-hmm.
but you should actually be creating yourself,
Yes.
you know, because we're never taught how to learn to love ourselves. Like, for example,
Yeah.
so, right, we talk about body image now more these days, right? So, for
Yes.
example, right? Okay. So, I'll like, here I have like some flab here, right? I'm not a model, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, we have to kind of just be proud of ourselves. Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, yeah, I may not have a perfect body. I have bruises and I'm clumsy, and I hit myself and I don't know, wait, how did I get that bruise? Like
Yeah.
And it's like we have to just be okay with ourselves, like
Yeah.
imperfectly perfect.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And we have to create that safe space for ourselves
Mm-hmm.
because no one's going to do it for us.
Yeah.
So we have to learn to have peace
Of
within
course.
ourselves.
Of course. Absolutely. I agree 100%.
Yeah. And what helps you to like feel that peace inside yourself?
Honestly, for me, I do things that I love.
Mm-hmm.
So I love spending time with my family.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I learned ever since I learned that my one of my main love languages is quality time. I
Mm,
really make use of that. And
good.
I just, talk to whoever, however I can. Like my sister, for example, she and I are very close. Um,
Oh,
well, actually, no, all my siblings in my family are pretty close to each
good,
other.
good,
So we just like we talk whenever we can, and I get my quality time.
good,
And yeah, and then I just do things that I love, like reading, singing,
good,
unleashing my creativity.
good,
So
good. How do
yeah.
you unleash your creativity? Doing what?
So I just sing, and then I also like make up songs on the piano as
Ah,
well. Yeah.
cool. I guess that's what you and I have in common then, singing and playing the piano.
Oh, yeah. And it's
Oh,
like, it's
cool.
really relaxing for me
Yes,
because it takes the stress off of the study aspects of school and, just the academics and whatnot.
good,
So,
good,
yeah.
good, good. I'm glad. Yeah, I picked up singing too in this last year too. So I sang at my father's funeral. I
Mm.
sang at my friend's husband's funeral and the celebration of life event. And so, and then, because of my singing, I've actually been inspired to try to audition for America's Got Talent.
Oh, oh my gosh. I'm so excited. That's so exciting.
Yeah. So I have to figure out which day I'm going to do it. So, and I was like thinking, maybe I can try to be a comedian, laugh at my problems, and then play the piano and sing and dance all at the same time somehow.
Girl, that takes a lot of courage. That's pretty good. No, that's like,
Right? Because it's like I know I have the outfits for it,
yeah,
like who would not forget this face, like
yeah, like who wouldn't? No,
because
yeah.
everyone knows that pink is for breast cancer, but no one
Mm-hmm.
knows that lime green is for mental health.
Yeah. So
So who would forget this face?
you're a walking billboard for that. That's pretty good.
Right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
so
awesome.
yeah, it's just I'm basically saying have courage.
Hmm.
Have courage to live out your dreams,
Absolutely.
because you only have one life.
Hmm.
And whose life are you going to live? You
Right.
know?
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah.
So
Thank
it's,
you.
yeah,
Thank you
it's
so
been such a
much. I
pleasure.
love that. Thank you so much, Emily, for sharing your insights and experiences. I loved
Mhm.
hearing every bit of it. I learned a lot from you this session. That's so good.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I love teaching. I love sharing my life lessons and my experiences because, a lot of the times we have a lot of unconscious biases,
Mm-hmm.
and we face microaggressions growing up and we never knew what it was called before and until we learn about it from other people, and then they tell you about restorative justice and you're like, huh, like, and
Yeah.
so it's very important for us to learn how to unpack these traumas and to never stop learning.
Right.
because we are all lifelong learners.
Yes.
And everything I share with you is actually what I wish I could have, you know, like if you had your own big sister,
Mm-hmm.
what would you want your big sister to tell you?
Yeah.
So everything I shared with you right now, I feel like, you're my younger sister.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And I wish I had someone like me to talk to when I was your age, you
Yeah,
know?
absolutely. Yeah.
So just being real, being authentic, not afraid to share, not afraid to cry,
Mm-hmm.
and just allowing myself to be safe in in who I was and who I am. And because sometimes it feels like it's very rare to have those experiences, but if you provide that safe space within yourself and you tell yourself that I am in my own safe space,
Mm-hmm.
I am safe, I am safe, I am safe, and no one can penetrate this safe space unless I allow them to.
Yes,
And learning to protect our peace is so important for all of us. So,
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. But, anyways, thank you so much for this opportunity. I've enjoyed
Yeah.
talking with you so much, Blue. And I wish you the best in all of your endeavors. And
Same to
namaste.
you. Thank
Yeah,
you so
namaste.
much, Emily. Well,
Mhm.
everyone, that's it for Therapy Reveal. And I hope you guys enjoyed listening to this podcast as much as I enjoyed interviewing and getting to know Emily. So, oh my gosh, I hope you have a good rest of your week. And until next time. Well, that's it for today's therapy reveal. I hope you guys enjoyed tuning in and sticking around for all 4 parts of our conversation with Emily Wu Truong. And honestly, I had such a great time interviewing and getting to know her on a deeper level, and just hearing and listening to all of her experiences and stories that she had to share and all her life lessons. I really learned a lot from her, and I hope you guys learned a lot from her experiences as well. So, with that, look forward to a new episode next week, and I'll see you guys next time.